Itchy arms. One of my favorite things as a kid was helping our neighbors put up their hay. I realize that sounds abnormal, but I tend to tilt that way. There was a huge field across from my parents' house, and every summer, just after school let out, they'd start cutting. I don't know exactly why I loved it. It wasn't something we did ourselves. But I was outside, in the fresh air and sunshine, moving and working and pushing. There was a rhythm to it that felt important, even if I couldn't have explained why. The scratch of twine against my palms, the way hay dust hung in the air and caught the light, the sting that crept up my forearms by mid-afternoon. They'd cut and tether, and then for a day or two I'd go over and help load square bales into the back of a rickety old wagon and offload them into the barn. It was real work, the kind that leaves you tired, in a good way. And none of it should have appealed to me. I was scared of snakes. I didn't enjoy itching. I hated getting sunburned, which for me was inevitable. As a kid, I had 2 shades, white and fire engine red, sunscreen notwithstanding. But I helped anyway, for several summers until sports took over and schedules filled up. Years later, when my brother moved to North Carolina and started a farm, I was genuinely thrilled to go down and help with their first cutting. The baler wasn't working well, the string kept coming loose, and there were multiple stops and repairs. But we had several straight days of sunshine, enough grace to work through the challenges without rushing or losing ground. I worked alongside my nieces and nephews, watching little versions of myself move through the same heat and effort. Somewhere in the middle of it all, I realized my brother had become so much like my grandpa Kessler. Both of them high-tech rednecks in the best sense of the term. Smart, capable, endlessly resourceful, completely at home fixing what wasn't working. Same dust, same heat, same itchy arms, and the same feeling I remembered from across the road all those years ago. It wasn't nostalgia. It wasn't memory doing something sentimental. It was recognition. The kind that settles into your body before you know what it's called. I had been here before, in the heat, in the work, in the quiet satisfaction of effort shared. It felt less like remembering and more like stepping into a current that had been moving long before I noticed it. The work didn't feel new. It felt inherited. Not as obligation, but as familiarity. As if my body recognized a language my mind hadn't consciously studied. Watching my brother move through the field, I could see it clearly. Not imitation. No one was trying to replicate anything. It was subtler than that. It was muscle memory, passed down without lecture, a posture toward work, a refusal to complain before the job was finished. Not imitation, but inheritance. My nieces and nephews didn't need to be told why this mattered. They were learning it the same way I had, by doing, by sweating, by discovering that work done together carries a kind of meaning that can't be explained ahead of time. This was how things traveled in our family, not through speeches or declarations, but through repetition, through hands that knew what to do because they had watched other hands do it first. Looking back now, I see more than just hard work. I see God's kindness in the timing, the stretch of sun when rain would have undone everything, and balers that cooperated just long enough, and hands that kept tying what came loose instead of walking away. Provision didn't feel miraculous. It felt steady. Sometimes faith looks like trusting the sun will hold, like working through the tangles instead of walking away, like doing what needs doing together. Sometimes what remains isn't a story. It's a pattern you recognize when you step back into it, itchy arms and all.